If you own a Mercury Outboard right now, there is a very good chance it has been running below its full potential since the day you bought it. Not because of a defect, not because of the prop, not because of anything you did wrong, because Mercury made a deliberate engineering decision to leave performance on the table inside every compatible engine, and in March of 2026, they finally started letting people unlock it. So the first question is the obvious one. How does a company that markets itself on performance sell you an engine that isn't running at full capability? The answer is in how modern outboard ECU modules, the electronic control modules that manage ignition timing, fuel injection, and throttle response, are calibrated from the factory. Mercury, like every major outboard manufacturer, builds its ECU calibration around a set of conservative parameters designed to optimize for long-term reliability, emissions compliance, and warranty protection across the widest possible range of hulls and conditions. That means the same software settings running a tournament bass boat are also running a John boat on a shallow river in Arizona. The calibration has to work everywhere, which means it is optimized for nowhere in particular. What Mercury's engineers discovered over more than a year of development and validation is that there was a specific window, the mid-range acceleration band from 4,000 RPM upward while the boat is on plane, where the factory calibration was leaving measurable, real-world performance unrealized. The ignition timing, fuel injection mapping, and throttle response parameters in that window could be tightened and optimized in a way that produced meaningful gains without touching peak horsepower, without changing top speed, and without any risk to the engine's long-term durability. That optimization is Boost, and Mercury has been sitting on the capability to do it for some time. But before we get into the real numbers, there are two things you need to understand. First, what Boost actually is not, because Mercury's own marketing is careful with language in a way that matters. And second, why a manufacturer doing this at all is a bigger deal than it sounds. In the performance world, people have been tuning engine control units on outboards for years through a practice called chipping, which are third-party software modifications that remap ignition timing and fuel injection to extract more performance from the engine. The marine industry has always treated this as a warranty-voiding gray area. Mercury's own documentation explicitly states that unauthorized software mapping changes will void the factory warranty and can cause durability issues. So there has always been a wall between what the engine was capable of and what you were allowed to do to it. Mercury just stepped to the other side of that wall. Boost is the manufacturer-backed, warranty-preserving version of what aftermarket tuners have been doing in the shadows for years, remapping timing, injection, and throttle parameters in a way the engine was always physically capable of, just never authorized to run. That distinction matters enormously, and it is the reason this is genuinely new territory for the outboard market. Boost does not increase your engine's peak horsepower rating, it does not increase your top speed, it does not change your hole shot or time to plane. What it does is change how fast you get through the mid-range on the way to those numbers. The difference is not theoretical. Boating Magazine ran independent tests on real boats using Mercury's own test data as a baseline, and the results are specific enough to mean something. On a 21-foot bass boat rigged with a Mercury 250 horsepower Pro XS5-8, one of the most common tournament setups in the country, Boost produced 14% faster acceleration to top speed. The boat reached that top speed 2.8 boat lengths sooner than without Boost. On a 33-foot center console rigged with twin Mercury 350 Verado V10s, Boost produced 17% quicker acceleration, reaching top velocity 0.9 of a boat length sooner. Those are not cherry-picked maximum figures. Those are real-world test results on specific named boats with specific named engines. If you are an angler running to a spot before anyone else gets there, 2.8 boat lengths is not a small number. Now you know what it does and what it proved in testing. So the next question is, which engines actually qualify and whether yours is one of them? And here is where it gets specific enough that you need to write something down. If this is already making you think differently about your current setup, hit subscribe. I dig into the real money and performance side of boating every day. Mercury rolled Boost out in two ways simultaneously. First, starting with Q2 2026 production, Boost comes installed as standard on select new engines, the Pro XS 175, 200, 225, 250, and 300, the Verado 250, 300, and 350, and the Mercury Racing 150R. If you bought a new Mercury in 2026 with one of those models, there is a real chance you already have it and do not even know it. Check Mercury's website to confirm your production date. Second, and more importantly for anyone who already owns a Mercury, Boost is available as a dealer-installed software upgrade for existing compatible engines. The eligible list covers 4-stroke, Pro XS, Verado, and Mercury Racing models ranging from 175 to 350 horsepower, with specific serial number cutoffs for each. The full eligibility list is published directly on Mercury's website. Search Mercury Boost, and you will find it in under 30 seconds. The way you check your own serial number is on the tag on the mounting bracket or engine block. If your number falls inside the eligible range for your model, you qualify. The cost is $250 per engine, installed by an authorized Mercury dealer through the diagnostic port. No prop change required, no hardware modification, no aftermarket anything. Mercury's own documentation confirms the installation does not void your factory warranty. One thing worth knowing before you call your dealer: the 3.4-liter 175 and 200 Pro XS models reportedly see the largest gains of any engine on the compatible list. If you are running either of those on a base boat or an inshore rig, you are at the top of the list for what this upgrade actually delivers in the real world. And for a tournament angler, that mid-range gap is exactly where races are won and lost on the way to the first spot of the morning. And there is a second installation method coming later. Mercury has confirmed that in late summer 2026, Boost will be available for over-the-air installation via the Mercury Marine app using the SmartCraft Connect wireless module on the engine. No dealer visit required. You install it from the dock. That is a meaningful shift. It is Mercury treating your outboard the way Tesla treats its vehicles, as a software platform that improves after you buy it. I put together a complete boat buyer and owner guide. No more hidden fees showing dealer tactics, real ownership costs, marina markups. The link is in the description, or feel free to scan the QR code. Now here is the part that should change how you think about this, and it is the part Mercury is not saying loudly in their own press releases. The existence of Boost answers a question the outboard market has been dancing around for years. What is actually inside these engines, and how much of it are manufacturers choosing not to give you at purchase? Mercury built Boost after more than a year of development. They validated it against their own warranty and reliability standards. They confirmed it maintains the factory warranty intact, which means the performance was always there. The ECU calibration was always capable of it. The decision not to deliver it by default was a product and business decision, not an engineering limitation. In the car world, this conversation has been happening for decades. Manufacturers ship vehicles with software-limited performance, and a whole aftermarket industry exists specifically to unlock it. The marine industry has been slower to get there because outboard ECUs are a more closed system. Mercury just opened that door for the first time from the manufacturer's side, and the fact that they are pricing it at $250 instead of giving it away tells you exactly how they see it. As a revenue-generating software product, they can deliver repeatedly as engines improve. Subscribe before you go, because this is just the first software upgrade Mercury has released for existing engines. Boost won the 2026 Innovation Award at the Miami International Boat Show in the Outboard Engines category, which means the marine industry itself is treating this as a category-defining move, not a minor firmware update. It is not going to be the last product like this. Mercury's program manager Jared Kalnins described Boost as establishing the foundation for a broader portfolio of software-based upgrades. Read that sentence again. They are not done. The people who understand this shift early are the ones who will know what to ask for and what to hold out for every time Mercury announces something new. If you own a compatible Mercury and you have not yet had this conversation with your dealer, the question is a simple one. What serial number am I running, and does it qualify? That is all it takes. $250, one dealer visit, and your engine runs meaningfully faster overnight without touching a single piece of hardware.